We have two seniors in high school. Both go to the same school, best friends since they were kids, both in the same activities, both have loving parents, both in the same economic status, and both belong to a dynamic evangelical youth group, like a big one. And both find deep belonging and inspiration, and both feel called by God to pursue, after they graduate high school, that large church's like ministry training program, so they can get into church leadership and maybe someday become pastors. And their leadership skills have been recognized by the people in power. Have created a culture of where if you're a male who's outspoken and can inspire people, that role that they played was benefited and said you should move forward and have access to resources, training, conferences, those tables, those conversations. Just one problem is that, let's say Joe, halfway through his senior year, comes out as gay. And because they were a part of the evangelical space where their policies were not clear, both felt like this was a sacred, holy thing. And Joe's best friend supports him and says, this is great. We're still going to be pastors, right? They're both jacked. So their social identities before this were very, very, very similar. And their social location within the power dynamics of that church were also very, very similar. But through Joe getting clear about who he is, they have no idea of how this social identity has shifted. But more importantly, the social location within the power construct of the church has now come vastly apart, and both don't know it. Because when the church deems that if you are male and you are straight, then you are sacred, then you're going to have access to that power. You're going to have access to those conversations. But the other, Joe, is going to hit an invisible wall that he did not know was there. And now his social location, once he finds out, and once his best friend finds out that he does not have access to those same things, is going to be clearly devastating. So I find it very, very interesting when the church creates a system of power, and the role that you have to play has to be straight and has to look a certain way. And you don't know that the role that you're playing is somehow a threat or evil or bad until it's too late. And the devastation and the trauma and the oppression that comes out of that is clearly going to impact one over the other.